ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. So you ever seen Brokeback Mountain? Honestly, it's not very good. I have to tell you, it's not very good. I'm thinking back, I'm just saying, I saw it kind of out of obligation because it was the movie to see. I was really into cinema at the time, not so much anymore. But I saw it at the time. So, bit of a weird movie, two cowboys in like the 60s, 70s, at some point, I don't know when, they're doing a job of like, transporting cattle, being cowboy stuff, transporting cattle across the prairie. I don't know, and it's cold at night, and so they end up sleeping with each other. And I have to tell you, I've never been that cold in my life, right? I'll be like, "Are you cold?" I said, "Yeah, I'm really cold." "Would you like to have gay sex?" No. Like, really? Like, what if you're going to freeze to death? Or I would rather freeze to death, right? My rectum, generally speaking, is a one-way direction. If you're new to my channel, you're like, what the hell's going on here? But my rectum is a one-way street, baby. It's an outie. Not an innie, okay? If you happen to be somebody who has a rectum as an innie, but anyway, the point of the movie is, the point I'm trying to get to slowly but surely, is they get to a point in the movie, and these two people, they develop a relationship, they love each other, and it's actually kind of a sweet love story. In fact, if you want a really good sweet gay love story, go watch Ross Lee Davies' Very British Scandal. That's fantastic. Much better than this. But there's one point in it where I think Heath Ledger says to whoever the other gay cowboy is, that "I can't quit you," or the other one said, "I can't quit you. I can't," because he's so intoxicated by it. Screenrant is roughly the same. Screenrant is roughly the same with The Timeless Child. They can't let it go. It was meant to be. It's the best thing ever. It's wonderful. Everybody loves it. There's nothing wrong with it whatsoever, and it just worked completely, right? That's really genuinely what they think, regardless of what the reality is, right? So they can't give it up. However, so they had another article. I was going to say, there was just another article saying, "See, timeless children, still, it's important, it's real, it's it's not it's the real thing, you can't deny it." Yeah. So you got that going on, and then you got the 2 or 3 days later they put out another article saying, "The timeless children, yeah, that's garbage. They got to get rid of that. They got to get rid of it." So finally, I think the schizophrenia has overtaken Screenrant, right? Which we're going to look at now. And if you can't laugh at somebody else's mental affliction, what can you laugh at? Of course, you shouldn't do that at all. But anyway, we'll take the piss a bit. Before we get into it, can you hit the like button? Thank you very much. I like to be liked. I do like to be liked. Can you hit the share button? Now, a bit more embarrassing. I like to be shared. I like to be liked, share, subscribe. Oh, man. That's a button. That's a button that makes me very, very happy. Thank you very much. You may have woken up this morning saying, "How can I make a rabbi happy?" Not many people wake up with that thought, but if you did, today's your lucky day. Hit the subscribe button. If you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. Comment, let me know what you think. We're going to be talking about lots of wibbly-wobbly, very silly things right now. Fine, let's get into this article. Over here. Doink, there you go. Doctor Who hinted at the timeless child twist in 2015. No, it didn't! "I can't quit you. I can't. No, it didn't. No. It was stupid when it happened. If anybody asked anybody, they said, "Oh, that's stupid." Man, I would love to get a tell-all book about this era. Wouldn't you? Oh, man, that'd be fantastic. Doctor Who Timeless Child retcon was unwittingly foreshadowed during Peter Capaldi era, but even the Doctor didn't notice the setup, because there was no setup, you freaking nutball. So I'm using line of dialogue and Peter Capaldi's tenure foreshadows Doctor Who's controversial Timeless Child retcon. No! This is you grasping at straws because you're a bonkers person, right? That's why. Current Doctor Who showrunner, Chris Chibnall, has promised to change everything. And no one can fool his ambition. Yes! Actually, I can. The leader of the National Socialists in the 1930s in Germany, he also wanted to change everything. Could you fault his ambition? Yeah, I think you can. Doctor Who Season 12 ended with a shocking revelation that made no sense and destroyed the show. Look, for me, it was already destroyed. I'm just glad they codified it for everybody else. Shocking revelation. The Doctor is not a Time Lord at all. Rather, she is a timeless child, a being who potentially predates the universe itself, and whose power is of limitless regeneration, means she was the base genetic code for Gallifred, who lived within the Citadel. Now, there could have been a way of actually doing this without it being as ham-fisted, but the trouble was, I think the initial idea, which he said he had when I was like 15, 16, it was kind of cool back in the 80s, back in the 90s, like, oh yeah, that Shape Doctor. But a lot's happened since then, and he kept the idea, and the idea got stale. That's what happens with ideas. You hold on to ideas, they get stale. The best example of this is watch the first season of Sopranos. If you got HBO Max is a good thing to subscribe to, by the way. That's my my recommendation. It's on. If you watch the first season of Sopranos, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There's one bit of writing in it that seems a bit stale, which is the basic plot of the spoiler alert is this mobster goes to a psychiatrist because he's having panic attacks, and through that, the psychiatrist diagnoses his mother as being some disorder, but essentially towards the end of the season, the mother is clearly planning to have the main guy, Tony Soprano, bumped off, and the psychiatrist works it out and warns him about it. So that it was that one idea. And by the time they got to it, everything in that season seemed fresh. That's the one thing that seemed stale, because that's the thing they started with. And they held on to it. Everything else is fresh. That's why I think Russell Davis's work works well, because he writes in the moment. Like, he doesn't write until it needs to be written, and then he writes in the moment and makes an incredible fluidity with it. Like, sometimes I will make thumbnails before and it always kind of like makes the video not as good because you're not as fluid, you're not as like free as you might be, right? So I don't know. I can't remember how we got onto that, but like, yeah. So yeah, no, it was like an old idea. It was an old idea. It felt like an old style idea, and then they inserted into it lots of identity politics, which is essentially saying that that Doctor, who is unacceptably white and male, right? He's been white and male for all this, and I know a lot of you out there just hate. No one hates. Here's the thing: people with Chris Chibnall's worldview I just have a bonkers view of reality. If you watch TV nowadays, right? If you're an alien that comes down to Earth and you watch TV, you all assume women, generally speaking, are mostly lesbians and hate men, right? They always come in and say something disparaging thing about men and are always gloating and getting money. Like, that happens a lot in a lot of TV. You would think women hate men, hate being married, and love being lesbian. But the fact is, no. Most women don't want to shave their head and be... It's incredibly... They hate men, but also want to be exactly like men, right? So, but shave their head and be muscular. Most women are not like... But they have this bizarre view. That's what the world is. They also have a bizarre view that if somebody doesn't look exactly like you, you can't relate to them, right? It's so they find the Doctor being white and male unacceptable. Oh, how racist. No, it's not. You're just bonkers, right? You're just out your bloody mind. And so they use this boring old idea to shoehorn in a way of making the 12 incarnations of the Doctor that we've seen be a teeny tiny portion, and most of them were not white men, right? Because that's really what it's about. It's not about representation. It's about what's the word? Erasure. It's much more about white male erasure than representation. Fine, let's have a look. Where are we looking at? Timeless child. Being protected predates the universe itself. Blah, 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 blah. It was one of the biggest changes of Doctor Who law since 69. It's not sticking, mate. And if it sticks, it's going to be changed somehow so it will work. There's some keen to see it retcons. You mean Doctor Who fans? Others willing to give it time to see what comes next. I'm not one of them. I am not one of them. Are we going to see what comes next? The general consensus is that it works surprisingly well with classic Doctor Who. That is not the general consensus, you lying piece of crap. That is not the general consensus. That might be the general consensus on Twitter with people who don't know anything about Doctor Who, right? Yeah. But it's not the general consensus of Doctor Who fans. But explicitly contradicts some of the character arcs in 2005 relaunch. At least revival. Relaunch, I think is okay. Most likely Matt Smith's regeneration story. Still, there are occasional hints even within modern Doctor Who that point towards the timeless reveal. I just did a video going over timeless shadow. I just did a video going over all the news, right? It's pretty darn clear. It's pretty darn clear. They're kind of making this up as they went along. They had the basic idea, but they're kind of making up as they went along and haven't really thought things through about how it connects to other eras. And they basically said that, this era exists in its own bubble, and they see the Capaldi era existing in its own bubble, and Matt Smith, this Chibnall sees it, right? I don't think Rusty Davies or Moffat sees it that way. But I think this era is going to exist in its own bubble. Fine. So take, for example, the 2005 special, The Husband's River song. This saw the Doctor's old flame river song go up against some villains who we hope to use to get to the Doctor. River was entirely unaware she was actually working with the Doctor himself because he never met the Capaldi incarnation before. That didn't really work because it was so obviously he was a Doctor. In one scene, the villains of the episode discuss the Doctor and describe him as a legendary being of remarkable power and infinite number of faces. This is clearly a reference to regeneration, but it points to the legends that the Doctor suggests there's no limit to the... Well, listen, excuse me. That they were talking... figuratively, right? Not literally, figuratively. And how on earth was his name? Carsvalian? Well, then the robot guy. How on earth would he know about the timeless children if the Doctor did? How does everybody know about it if the Doctor doesn't? It seems kind of stupid to me. And nobody in the Matrix ever knew about it. It can't, no, it's just dumb. So I guess that's what they're using as they're saying, oh, infinite, no, leave me alone. Fine, so this is them saying to Time to, I can't quit you, and then a few days later they said, we need to quit you. Okay, we need to quit you. Why Rossley Davis needs to abandon Doctor Who's Timeless Child story. Doctor Who Rossley Davis can ignore the Timeless Child arc because there's a greater mystery to solve, and it's hidden in plain sight. Mystery of how it's tanked horribly. It's not mystery. Okay, it's not mystery at all. When returning showrunner Rossley Davis takes back the keys of the TARDIS, he won't need to revisit Doctor Who's Timeless Child arc. In fact, he should abandon it. Yes, and here's why. Davis inherits a mess of a story with no easy outs unless departing showrunner has an unexpected ace up his sleeve. I think he's going to cauterize it. I think he's going to put it in its own bubble, right? They're going multiverse. I think this is just going to be its own thing, right? However, tigers don't change their stripes. Fine. You say there's no chance of it being redeemed. I agree with that. Season 12 finale revealed the Doctor was the timeless child hinted at since Jodie Whittaker regeneration onto the sea. No, mentioned once. And somehow the bits of cloth on a planet knew about the Doctor, but didn't know. Like, how? It's just so dumb, right? Did I say dumb? I must be speaking about Chris Chibnall, Doctor Who. In fact, he should blah 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 blah. The Time Child mystery revolves around the idea that a mysterious child traveled to this universe through a boundary dimensional portal that crosses the divides of existence. The Timeless Child became a source of regeneration, the ability for those to form, for those from Gallifrey to change their appearance. Okay, blah blah blah. Source code of regeneration. Whittaker officially plays the 13th Doctor or 13th incarnation of Doctor. Listen. Star Trek Discovery is officially Star Trek. It's not Star Trek, right? It's not Star Trek. However, The Timeless Child throws the concept out the window, and so instead suggesting that an infinite number of doctors came before the ones we know. William Hartnell on paper. That shocking twist might have merit, but a subpar execution of Doctor Who Timeless Child hindered the concept's success. That's fair. Mess with the overarching continuity of Doctor Who's entire timeline, and that should be abandoned. Here's why. The Timeless Child is no war doctor. Yes, which is clearly what he was trying to rip off, right? Stephen Moffat, who preceded Chibnall as showrunner, did something similar for Doctor Who's 50th anniversary by capitalizing on the fact that the regeneration of Christopher Eccleston's Doctor was never appeared on screen. And also, Eccleston didn't want to do it. And I think, honestly, whenever there's a problem and you have to overcome it, 9 times out of 10, when I say whatever, 9 times out of 10, it makes it better, right? Christopher Eccleston not wanting to do it, I think, made the episode better by having the John Hurt Doctor. I love what Big Finish have done with the John Hurt Doctor. Regenerating the Doctor never appeared on screen. He had also, remember that when what's the story? It wasn't actually a particularly good one. The one with Michelle Ryan in it. With on the planet, with the desert planet, with the thing, the silverfish eating everything. The bus, anyway, the bus got very damaged on its trip to Abu Dhabi where they filmed it. Frankly, why didn't you film it in Israel, mate? Okay, we would have looked after it better. Okay, but it got damaged, and so I said, oh, no problem. We'll just say that's what happens when you go through a portal, right? Go through a time warp. Fine, right? And it actually made the story better because now they can't just walk through that portal. They have to get through be in the bus, and that just made it all work better. The Secret Doctor, John Hurt, between the 8th Doctor, Paul McGann, and Eccleston's 9th, which became the incarnation of, thought, the mythical Time War. Chibnall's Timeless Child arc wanted to do the same shame, but shot itself in the foot. The problem with repeating an iconic retcon device in a nearly 6-year-old series is it needs to be better than what came before. The Timeless Child isn't. In capable hands of Moffat, Doctor Who did something that made the viewers' heads explode, but didn't change everything that they thought they knew, but also because it fits perfectly into constraints of the established history. The Timeless Child instead sets off a bomb and continues explosions across the timeline. Yeah, it's done badly. It's done badly. The regeneration of River Song raises too many problems. Oh, please tell me more. River Song developed her regeneration ability because she was conceived inside the time vortex. While Amy and Rory travelled aboard the TARDIS. If the Doctor's genetics paved the way for Gallifrey's secret to longevity, what gave the River her regeneration cycle? The essential question, it could be retcon, but why? The essential question, because River Song isn't a one-off Doctor Who character. She's appeared across multiple Doctor era, unraveling a story. It isn't the most fantastic idea, and like she's appeared so far with all classic Doctors apart from first and second. There was in the Diary of River Song. The first one was with McGann. The second one was I don't think she's been with Eccleston. Hopefully they'll get to that. First one, McGann. Second one was with Colin Baker and Sylvester McCoy. Third box set this is Diary of River Song, was with Peter Davison. And then the fourth one was with Tom Baker. And the one they're doing right now is with Tim Treloar playing the third Doctor. Frankly, they should do one with Dave Bradley and another to the first Doctor, another one with Fraser Hines playing the second Doctor. It's an essential question because River Song isn't a one-off character. She's appeared across multiple, unraveling the history. Reconciling both the Timeless Child story origin and River Song story leads to one solution. The Doctor's people travel to the time the Doctor's people travel the time vortex too, and they may even live there. Oh, right. So that's where she comes from before she went through the portal. Either way. Where were they during the Time War? Like River Song, the Time War weaves through Doctor Who's canon and pulling its threads unravels everything. If the Doctor's people were time travelers with regeneration capabilities, doesn't that mean doesn't make them Time Lords too? Both species have two hearts after all. Chibnall likely may have written himself in the corner, but and with a universal reset button, seems unlikely. I actually think it seems quite likely. I think that's basically what he has to do. My guess is that's what he had to do to not be fired, to get this extra season, right? To get these extra 9 episodes. Right. It's I do think again, this is coming from a rumor from the TARDIS Zone Noel's channel from about a year ago. That it was, and that timeline actually makes sense. That will come out then. By the way, I am really looking forward to the watch along on Noel's channel next week for was it the Halloween Apocalypse. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to be going online at 8 o'clock UK time and doing a full recap and review then. That's my plan. I was going to do it on Monday, but now they moved it to earlier, 6:25 on Sunday. I think I can swing it by 8 because I'm like 2 hours later here, and I'm an old man. I don't want to stay up too late. The name of the Doctor and the time of the Doctor makes no sense. Yeah, okay, these are just some of the things. Boy, where'd it go? Doctor's 50th anniversary wasn't just 1 episode; it was 3, preceding the Day of the Doctor, the finale to season 7, the name of the Doctor, in which Jenna Coleman threw herself into the Doctor's time stream. Now it's exactly. Now it's one thing to say the Doctor doesn't remember what came before, but it's quite another thing to claim the Doctor's time stream only includes what is remembered history. Clara met every one of the Doctor's faces, including the Hidden War Doctor. If the 13 had infinite life preceding the first Doctor, Clara would have met them too. Exactly. The third installment of the anniversary said Time of the Doctor features Matt Smith's 11th Doctor passing the baton to Peter Capaldi. In this episode, the Doctor required an entirely new regeneration cycle from the Time Lords to survive and defeat the Daleks. Only if he didn't. If the Doctor is a source of regenerations, he would have been able to regenerate without assistance. You could just say it was a placebo they gave it. But then again, this massive conspiracy, you have every way you explain it, you got to have more people in on the conspiracy, right? Well, it's which makes it impossible. But by the way, complete aside, that's one of the reasons people always say. There's one of the arguments for the validity of the Old Testament. So let me just run you through that, right? So you have this event in the Old Testament, Mount Sinai. God appears at Mount Sinai, right? Right, and he appears to the entire nation. So this is this is the claim of divinity of Judaism, right? So it's qualitatively different from the claim of divinity of, say, Christianity or Islam, when God's revelation was to a very small number of people. Like to Islam, it was 1 person. To Christianity, it was 12. Both those are numbers where you could conceivably have a conspiracy. Once you're talking in the hundreds of thousands, right? Which is what the claim is. It becomes very, very hard to have a conspiracy that this was all made up. And have everybody on board with it and nobody tell their kids, right? Nobody tell their kids the truth. You would have had, maybe you'll get a bunch of people, but you wouldn't get everyone. If you want to see a movie to see how that worked, M. Night Shyamalan's last nearly good movie was called The Village, I think. And it's basically the same premise. People will not lie to their kids. Or at least not everybody will lie to their kids. So it would have been people come and say, oh, no. And they would have another tradition going back from the time of the Bible saying that God did not appear at Mount Sinai. Once you make a claim to thousands of people, right? Once 1,000 people need to be in a conspiracy, it ceases to become viable. Right, so same thing with the timeless shows. They're like, okay, so now, so the bits of cloth knew about it, and they knew about it, and the Time Lords knew about it. No, because it's bollocks. It's just badly done. Even if the source of regeneration could have been able to regenerate without assistance, could the timeless child Doctor even die? He could have outlived all his enemies by simply staying on Trenzalore and regenerating until they all died out. The Time Lords could have waited to hear the question too. That's a pretty darn good point. Doctor Who already has a mystery to solve, and it's right in the title. Doctor Who! That was, what was it? Moffat did that, right? The Timeless Child tries to solve the false belief. The false belief too much is already known about the Doctor. Therefore, a new mystery requires implementation. Yet, in nearly 6 years since their inception in 1963, the Doctor's name remains unknown except to River. That implies a lot of mystery left. Yeah, if you don't know the character's main character's bloody name, maybe there's a little bit mystery left in that old dog yet. Of exploration before blowing everything up. Doctor Who, the oldest question of the universe, hidden in plain sight. However, the real question could simply be why? Why isn't the Doctor's name known? There's a story though. Yeah, listen. Here's the thing. There is something. There's something. I'm going to give you another religious allegory. God is supposed to be infinite. There are no, and our finite brains. We live in a finite reality. Our brains can't conceive of the infinite, right? Because we conceive of anything, we always conceive of a border, right? And then we ask, well, what's beyond that? What's beyond what? God is infinite. There is no border, right? And again, with finite brains, it's virtually impossible to conceive of the infinite, of the infinite. There's something there's no boundaries to, there's no end to, right? Except ideas. Ideas, there is no end to it. You can keep coming up with ideas and new ideas and new ideas if you're a creative person, if you're an intelligent person. If you're somebody whose brain can do that. If you're Chris Chibnall, you got to go big. There you go. I got to blow up the universe in the first episode. Yeah, okay, very good, Tris. So yeah, that's it. Why? Why is the Doctor's name? There's a story there. Clearly, one since the Doctor's gone to such great lengths to keep it hidden. The actual name needs never telling, but the mystery of why the Doctor's name is secret for so long could be compelling. However, did River find it out? How did River find out? It was assumed that he shared it with her. Did Susan know who it was? Before tearing the doctor we knew about his identity, it would have been nice to learn why he's hiding it first. And yet, this is just one question from one smart person asking. Just one freaking question. There is a lot more. Maybe instead of revisiting the Timeless Child, David could set the sights on the show's primary mystery, heading into Doctor Who's Diamond Anniversary season. Yeah. So, Screenrant. Loves the Timeless Child. I can't quit you. Oh, I can't quit you. Yes, I understand you can't quit you. However, a couple of days later it says we got to quit you. Okay, we got to quit you because you're the worst thing freaking ever, right? The worst thing ever. Doctor Who, the Timeless Children. I can't really argue with that. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.